Find out. Who am I? The question that is not meant to be answered. At first, self-inquiry sounds frustrating. Someone asks, how do I become free? Ramana says, find out who wants freedom. Someone asks, how do I stop suffering? He says, who suffers? People expected instructions. He returned the attention, again and again. Why? Because according to Ramana, every thought depends upon one primary thought, the thought, I. Before you think, I want, I fear, I remember, I need. There is first, I. And if this I is misunderstood, everything built upon it becomes unstable. His method was simple in description. When a thought appears, do not chase the thought. Ask, to whom did this arise? Answer, to me. Then ask, who am I? And instead of answering, look, feel. Turn attention toward the sense of being the experiencer, again, 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 until attention settles into its source. This sounds almost too simple, but simplicity does not mean ease. Because the mind wants objects, thoughts, images, concepts. Self-inquiry removes all of them, which creates resistance. Because if there is no story, who are you? The hidden meaning of until everything disappears. The title sounds dramatic, but Ramana did not teach annihilation. He did not teach destroying reality. When he spoke of thoughts disappearing, he referred to identification, the disappearance of confusion, the disappearance of false certainty, the disappearance of compulsive attachment to mental activity. According to Ramana, the ego is not an object. It is a process, a movement of identification. The moment attention turns outward, I am this, I am that, identity forms. But when attention returns inward, the process weakens. Ramana often compared this to a thief pretending to be a policeman. The ego appears to search for truth while secretly maintaining itself. Self-inquiry exposes the trick. The seeker looks for the self, and eventually discovers the seeker itself cannot be found. This is the paradox. The one trying to awaken is the obstacle. So what disappears? Not existence, not consciousness, only the mistaken assumption, I am merely this separate person. Why silence was central to Ramana's teaching, visitors often reported something unexpected. Ramana frequently answered questions with silence. Some sat for hours, no words, no lectures, and yet many described profound peace. This was not performance. Ramana repeatedly said truth cannot be fully captured in language. Words point, silence reveals. But his silence was not emptiness. It was attentive presence. When asked whether silence could teach, he suggested that silence is continuous communication. Speech interrupts it. This is difficult for modern minds. We assume insight comes through more information. Ramana suggested the opposite. The constant stream of information prevents recognition of what is already here. Think about your own experience. From morning until night, thoughts, notifications, plans, regrets, opinions, memories. Now imagine asking, without all of that, what remains? This is where self-inquiry begins. Why most people fail at who am I? Because they answer. They say, I am consciousness, I am awareness, I am divine. Ramana warned against this. Those are still thoughts, still concepts, still objects known by awareness. Self-inquiry is not replacing one belief with a better belief. It is discovering what exists before belief. Another mistake? People treat it as concentration. They force attention, become tense, try to eliminate thoughts. Ramana did not recommend fighting thoughts. He recommended tracing them. Every thought says, mine. Ask, whose, return, not suppression, recognition. And another mistake. People expect fireworks, visions, mystical experiences. Ramana repeatedly emphasized that experiences come and go. Truth does not. If something appears and disappears, It cannot be your essential nature. That instruction remains surprisingly radical today. A simple way to practice: sit comfortably. Close your eyes if helpful. Notice thoughts appearing. Do not follow content. Instead, ask, who notices this? Feel the sense, I. Now ask, who am I? Do not answer. Do not imagine. Stay with the feeling of being. Thought returns. Repeat. To whom did this arise? To me? Who am I? Return. Again. Again. Not forcing. Not analyzing. Just returning. Ramana said persistence matters, not because truth is far away, but because habit is strong. Attention has spent years moving outward. Self-inquiry reverses direction, and over time, the center of identity begins to shift. The unexpected result. People imagine awakening means becoming extraordinary. Ramana's descriptions were quieter, less dramatic, more ordinary. Awakening was not gaining something. It was seeing what had never been absent. He described the self as always present, like space in a room. Furniture changes, space remains, thoughts change, awareness remains, emotions change, awareness remains, life changes, awareness remains. The search itself begins to soften, and with that, fear changes, because fear depends on defending an identity. What happens when identity becomes less rigid? This does not mean life becomes painless. Ramana himself experienced illness, physical suffering. Yet witnesses often remarked on his remarkable equanimity, not indifference, freedom. Was Ramana teaching instant awakening? This is important. Modern spirituality often compresses everything into dramatic promises. Instant enlightenment. One technique, one breakthrough. Historically, Ramana's own awakening experience appeared sudden, but his teaching emphasized continuous inquiry and steady abidance. He did not promise immediate results. He pointed toward immediate availability. There is a difference. The truth, in his view, is immediate. Recognition may unfold gradually. Some people experience profound shifts quickly. Others practice for years. Ramana discouraged comparison, because comparison strengthens the very self being investigated. His instruction remained: stay with inquiry, return to the source. Do not chase experiences. The final twist. Imagine reaching the end of all questions, not because every mystery is solved, but because the questioner itself becomes transparent. This was Ramana's invitation, not become someone better, not accumulate spiritual achievements, but investigate the one seeking. And if pursued deeply, the stories disappear, the labels disappear, the endless becoming disappears, not into emptiness, but into presence. The world remains, life continues, but the center shifts. From I am this person trying to find peace to peace was never absent.